Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you guys doing? I am so excited to be back again with you one more time for story time. 2 weeks ago, we spoke about our forever trees and how we can grow them in Jannah by saying Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. I wonder who is winning the challenge of the most forever trees in Jannah in your home? Are you guys keeping track? Awesome. Then last week we spoke about an apple tree and how this apple tree was the reason the mother and the father of Imam Abu Hanifa met. And we were actually in a country called Iraq. Remember I told you it was right next to where the Tigris River and the Euphrates River are, right over here. Today we are going to go a little bit to the west. We're up here to a country called Turkey. Yes. How many of you guys been to Turkey before? Anybody visit? I hear it's a beautiful, beautiful country. And I'm going to be talking today or reading you a story today about a beautiful tradition that existed there and that also existed in my country, in Egypt, as I was growing as a little child. And it's about the drummer girl or the musahharati, the person who comes around before suhoor with a drum just like this and starts pounding. Wake up everybody, wake up and glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he would pass around from one street to the other, waking us up by name, every single person in the street as he hit on his drum. So let's see what is the story of the drummer girl. The drummer girl. A book that is written by Hiba Masood, illustrated by Huda Haddadi. How beautiful is that? Let's see what's in here. Bismillah. For my Baba. So this book is dedicated to her dad. Many years ago in Istanbul, far end of Gul Pasha Caddisi, where the cobbled roads dips towards the Sea of Marmara, there was a small white house with a brick red roof. If you ever walked by this house on a Friday evening, when the sun was setting and the neighbors were lighting their kitchen lanterns, you would hear an old woman singing softly to herself. Why do you sleep? Why do you sleep? Wake if you know what is better for you. Why do you sleep? Why do you sleep? Your Lord the Merciful is waiting for you. And here you can see the beautiful homes in Istanbul in Turkey. And you can see how they have lovely red brick roofs. If you followed the lilting melody and peeped inside the black iron gate of the small white house with the brick red roof, you would see Grandma Nejma sitting on the front steps. Grandma Nejma would look up at you questioningly, her brown eyes the exact shade of a mabrur date, which is a very special kind of date, would squint a little, but her strong wrinkled hands would go on tapping on her or off her song. She would go tapping off her song against her knees, carefully hidden under the folds of her long red skirt. And here you can see Grandma Nejma tapping on her knees her little song down these beautiful alleys in Istanbul. Let's see what's gonna happen. Long before she was Grandma Nejma, she was simply Nejma. She had lived in that same house since she was a little girl. But in those days, she lived with her Baba, her Mama, and her 2 brothers. Nejma went to school in the morning, and in the evening, she helped her Mama around the house as she swept the earthen floors and washed the porcelain cups in which her father or Baba drank his fragrant cardamom tea. Yum! She would sing, "Wake, O believers, big and small, your Lord is watchful over you all. Rise, O believers, say in one rousing call, Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Kareem." And you can see here Grandma Nejma as a little girl doing her house chores and helping around. I wonder, are we also doing chores and are we helping Mom and Dad at home? because this is something we should all be doing. And not just because mom and dad says, but because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also orders us to what? To help all those around us. And we get rewarded immensely for helping others. Nejma loved Ramadan. She loved searching the sky for the new moon with her baba and stringing up the fanus lights. She loved wearing the special clothes sewn by her mama. She loved the fancy tea that mama would take out with its tiny spoons that her brother would carefully shine, and the steaming bowls of shurba they all had for iftar. So they had a very fancy tea set and very special shurba. And shurba, by the way, means soup. She loved falling asleep to the sound of the night prayers at the distant masjid. Most of all, she loved waking up before dawn as the Musahharati passed through her street. And you can see here the Ramadan crescent showing and all the festivities of Ramadan, the beautiful clothes, the special tea set, everything that's so beautiful about Ramadan, hanging up the fanus or the lanterns. I am sure, you can see also behind me here, I hung up my Ramadan lights as well. And I'm sure a lot of you did little decorations here or there in your homes just to celebrate the coming of Ramadan. I wonder, do you guys also love Ramadan like Nejma? I love Ramadan. A Musahharati is a special Ramadan drummer. He walks through the neighborhood in the hours before dawn, beating a drum and chanting special songs. He does this to wake all the sleeping people so that they may take suhoor, the pre-fast meal, and pray Fajr prayer before the long day of fasting begins. A Musahharati stands in front of each home and calls the people of that home by name. Every night in Ramadan, Nejma would hear her father's name being called out by the Musahharati at their door. Wake, O Ali! Wake, O household of Ali! The time for the Lord's bounty is upon you. And you can see her here looking out of the window to see the Musahharati in the street as he calls to wake them up. That must be very exciting. I wonder, have any of you seen a Musahharati before? If you've ever traveled to any of the Arab countries, it is the most beautiful thing. For as long as Nejma could remember, Ramadan had meant hearing the Musahharati, the thump, thump, thump of his drum, and the sing-song poetry of his melodious voice. And for as long as Nejma could remember, she had carried a secret dream. Nejma wanted to be a Musahharati. She wanted to be the drummer girl. Rise up from your beds, let sleep leave from you. Stand up in prayer, let your Lord be pleased with you. She would hum the tunes of the Musahharati and imagine walking through the neighborhood, waking up her friends and her neighbors. And you can see her here standing, thinking of her great and secret dream of being the first Musahharati girl that would go around and wake up people so they could eat suhoor and pray Fajr on time. I wonder, do you think this dream is going to come true? Let's see. One day, when Nejma was 12 years old and Ramadan preparations had begun, she went and sat on the floor by her baba. She put her head on his knee and he stroked her hair. Yes, Nejma, what is that worries you? Nejma took a deep breath and all the world spilled out of her. Baba, I want to be a Musahharati this year. I want to beat the drum and sing the verses and wake up everyone for suhoor. My friend told me that Brother Yusuf, our neighborhood Musahharati, is not feeling well and is looking for a replacement. I want to be his replacement. Please, this dream is calling to me, Baba. It has been calling to me for years. And here you see Nejma sitting on Baba's lap and telling him about her very special dream that she would love to be the Musahharati. Let's see what's going to happen. Do you think Nejma's dream is going to come true? I wonder. Baba's hand stilled on her head and Nejma held her breath. Would he be angry? Would he say she was being foolish? No woman had ever been a Musaharati in her neighborhood. In fact, no woman had ever been a Musaharati anywhere as far as she knew. Najma looked up nervously. Baba's kind eyes met hers. He was not angry. And you can see Baba here, how kind he is and how she's looking up at him nervously, wondering what is he going to say about her dream of becoming the first Musaharati girl. Let's see what's going to happen. After a long time, Baba spoke. You want to be the Musaharati? Yes, Baba, whispered Najma. Baba tapped her gently on the nose and slowly smiled. Well, I don't see why not. Najma's heart leapt with joy. If Baba had spoken, then that was that. It's a done deal, right? And do you know what? That was that. Her brothers said she was being silly. Her friends thought she had lost her mind. But Baba had spoken. And when Baba speaks, decisions are made. And you can see how excited she is because she can see how her dream is about to become true. All right, let's see what's going to happen. It's exciting. Like beads slipping by on a tasbih, the days passed and Ramadan came closer and closer. Girls can't be Musaharatis, someone said to Najma every day. Girls can be anything they like, Baba said to her every night. Soon Ramadan arrived. The curving silver crescent of the new moon had been seen, and the neighbors called out joyous greetings to each other from their doors and windows. Ramadan is here! Glad tidings for a wonderful month! That night, when her brothers had gone to bed, Najma put on her favorite long red skirt and wrapped her scarf around her. She took out the drum Baba had brought her earlier, put on her gloves, and slipped out. And you see her brothers are having sweet dreams right there. And she is wearing her beautiful, beautiful red skirt and her lovely hijab and heading out with Baba with her drum. Let's see what's going to happen next. Najma and her Baba walked through narrow alleys and twisting pathways up and down the cobbled roads of their neighborhood. Najma's strong, clear voice rang out again and again through the night air. Her hands beat steadily on her drum, and she and Baba paused outside the homes of their neighbors. Wake up from your beds if you believe. The blessings of suhoor you must achieve. There's no time to sleep, no time to dream. Say it with me now, Ramadan Kareem. Many people stepped out into their balconies to watch. Was it really a girl's voice they had heard? Some laughed at Najma as she walked by. Others threw candy and sweets down to her, which she received with a shy nod. Isn't that nice to laugh at someone if they're doing something different? I don't think that was very nice. Maybe it's also because they're not accustomed to it. This is not something normal, but we should never, ever, ever be unkind to anyone, whatsoever happens. When Najma and her Baba had drummed at the doors of all the neighbors, they went home. Mama had their suhoor ready for them. Najma was hungry and tired. She ate quickly, prayed Fajr, and went to sleep for a long time. While she slept, Najma had a beautiful dream. She saw herself walking with her drum down a long, winding path illuminated by lanterns of different colors and sizes. As she walked, she could hear the sound of many people reciting the Quran. What a beautiful dream, to be able to hear Quran in your dream. That must be something very special. And you see her here walking with all the beautiful lanterns as she is dreaming and listening to people reciting Quran. Such a beautiful dream, mashallah. When she woke, Najma felt happy and peaceful inside. She felt sure she would be a good Musaharati and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was pleased with her. That Ramadan, Najma and her Baba spent all their nights the same way. They walked through the neighborhood and Najma sang out her verses and beat her drum. When the neighbors realized that Najma was coming out night after night, they no longer laughed or teased her. They grew to respect and love the brave, determined little girl who was waking them for the most important meal of their long Ramadan days. They even invited her family to break the fast in their homes and proudly spoke of her in other neighborhoods. And you can see here how all the aunties are looking out of the windows and the old uncles. Everybody's waking up because she is walking around and waking them up. And now they have this love for her. She is waking them up to have suhoor and pray Fajr. All right. For many years afterward, in that small Istanbul neighborhood at the end of Gulpasha Kadisi, it was Najma who was the Ramadan Musaharati. She was as much as a part of her neighbors' Ramadan as their dates, their cardamom coffee, and their nightly prayers. As the years passed, her Baba began staying at home, and she would go alone or with her brothers. As more years passed, Najma's husband began walking with her. Later, her children walked with her, and after that, her grandchildren. And you see here now, she became a Grandma Najma, and her little grandson is what riding behind her. Beautiful, beautiful Istanbul right there. And I think she really likes red skirts because she still is wearing a red skirt, right? When the time came that Grandma Najma's bones grew too tired for her to be a Musaharati anymore, she gave her drum to her grandchildren, and they carried on the noble family tradition she had set. But even then, every Ramadan evening, Grandma Najma would carefully put on her favorite long red skirt and wrap her shawl around her shoulders. She would sit on the steps of her small white house with the brick red roof and gently tap her wrinkled hands against her knees, singing, "Why do you sleep? Why do you sleep? Rise if you know what is better for you. Hurry and wake, his blessings to take. Your Lord the merciful is waiting for you. Come sing with me, believers big and small. Say it together now in one rousing call. Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Kareem." And you can see here Grandma Najma sitting in her beautiful favorite long red skirt, tapping on her knees and singing her beautiful words that she used to sing growing up, waking up all the believers so that they could have suhoor and fast and start their fast in Ramadan. Now, I wonder, we have about maybe 11 days more to go in Ramadan, or maybe 10, and we could still be drummer girls and boys in our homes. If you have a little drum at home like this, or if you can even have a little plastic container and a stick, and you could go around your house, but not making too much noise, and start saying, "Wake up everybody," and you could call your siblings, you could call your parents by their name and try to wake them up so they could have suhoor and pray Fajr together. And inshallah, you will get the reward. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is how you should always have dreams. When you dream of something, don't ever think that it's impossible. Najma dreamt of being the little drummer girl in a town where it was only men who were drummers. But then you could always believe in yourself and always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you, and always ask your parents to help you. And inshallah, all your dreams can come true only if you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do all the hard work that you have to do. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all, and inshallah I will see you next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.